Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dr. Taylor, Aspire Chiropractic. Want to go over something that, man, it's going to be different everywhere you go. But I want to give you a couple things to look out for on your first visit to a chiropractor. V-I-S-I-T. Nailed it. All right, sweet. So it is, whether it's a chiropractor or a PT or a medical doctor or hell, even a dentist, there's things to look out for on your very first visit to a doctor's office. Now, let's go over chiropractor first and foremost, because one, I'm a chiropractor. I know what you should be looking for. Number two, I probably do it better than anybody else, according to a survey I made up for that statement I just made right there. So, number one, when you go into a chiropractor, you're going to have a consult, okay? What is a consult? It's a discussion. It's a conversation that you guys are going to have. What are you in there for? What do you want them to fix? Now, this is kind of a bone of contention, if you will, with a lot of doctors' offices, because we have you fill out a bunch of paperwork and then you come back and we sit down, we have a conversation about everything you just wrote down. So here we have you fill out the paperwork. It comes back to me. I read it over. I look at every box you checked, everything you've marked, every word that you've written down. And then I go back and I'm going to ask you about it. I want you to give me your history, because what is the paperwork? The paperwork is nothing more than an outline, a general 10,000-foot overview, but it is in no way, shape, or form the end-all, be-all of every reason that you're actually in to see us. So we're going to have a consult. Number two, we're going to do an exam. Now, here in the office, we're going to examine what it is that you want me to look at, what it is you want me to help you with, what it is you want me to fix. But we're also going to examine a whole bunch of other stuff in, out, and around that thing, especially from a chiropractic standpoint. Again, if we've got your spine here, we've got 7 bones up top, we've got 12 in the mid back, we've got 5 in the low back, we've got your brain up here and your spinal cord connected to your brain going down your spine, sending out nerves that control your entire body. If you come in here and you've got hip pain over on the right, I'm going to check everything all the way up to the top. I'm going to check everything going all the way down low. I understand you want your hip looked at, and we're going to do that. But we're also going to check out the 5 bones that lie above it, the 12 above them, the 7 above them, to make sure that there's no disruption in this spinal column that's housing your nervous system. We're going to check your hip, your knee, and your ankle also, because that's going to affect how you got going on here. So if you go into a doctor and they go through the consult, and then they talk about what we call your chief complaint, the reason that you're in there, and then the only thing they look at is your chief complaint, there's a very good chance they could be missing a larger part of the picture. Next, here in this office, after the exam, we're going to do some x-rays. Why are we going to do x-rays? Because I'm a chiropractor. I move bones for a living. To see is to know, and I want to be able to look at and see what exactly it is that you've got going on that we need to move around. Because more often than not, yeah, we're going to have an issue in the spine here. We're going to have a bone out of place. It's called a subluxation, and it's going to be pulling on muscles, pressing on nerves. But also, I want to be able to see that. I can tell a lot with my hands. These things are very educated. I've made a whole career out of it. But to see is to know. So we're going to take an x-ray. Next thing we're going to do here in this office is then we're going to start treating you. The abbreviation for treatment is TX. We're going to give you an adjustment. We're going to get you on decompression. If we need soft wave, we're going to get you soft wave. If you need a massage, we're going to set up a massage referral. If we need an MRI, we're going to get an MRI referral or a PT referral. We're going to get started with the treatment that day. Now, I say that with such gusto and such vigor because there are a lot of offices out there that will come in and they'll do the consult on day one. They'll do the exam on day one. They might even take an x-ray. Not every chiropractor takes x-rays. Don't ask me why. I think we all should. And then they'll tell you, hey, go home, come back tomorrow. They'll give me a chance to go over this stuff, to study it, and then we'll get you treated. So you come in pain, you're going to leave in pain. And you're going to leave with questions, more questions than you have answers. Like, why didn't they help me? Why do I have to wait to be helped? Here in this office, after we do a thorough consult, we do an exam with orthopedic tests, neurologic tests. We do x-rays so we can see the bones. We can see the stuff we're working on. We're going to get started making you feel better because that's why you're here in the first place. You're not really here for a consult exam or an x-ray. That's part of the process that we have to go through to determine the best way to help you. What you're here for is you're here for treatment. You're here for help. I'm not going to send you home and tell you to come back 24 hours later so I can figure out the best way to help you. I've been doing this long enough. I've been doing this for over a decade. And I've got the education even prior to that, where I know once I figure out what your issue is, what we can do to help. So that's why we get started here that day. Also, with all that information, we're going to make a plan for you, because one of the things with chiropractic, it works 100% of the time, every time, but it works slowly. Why does it work slowly? Because what are we doing? We're changing the body. If you come in here and your spine looks jacked up like this, and you've got issues and sciatica and stuff going down your leg, you got this neuropathy all the way down to your little bitty pinky toe here, this stuff has been going on for a while. I'm a fantastic chiropractor and a very dynamic adjuster, but I'm not going to fix that from 0 to 100% in one visit. But we are definitely going to get it started the first day you come in here, and then we're going to lay out a plan on how we're going to take care of it in the long run. Because what goes on is you're scooting along here, and then something happens, and this is your body's ability to function. It kind of goes downhill to a point where you're way down here, right? So this is when you come to see me. I need to have a plan, not just to get you out of pain, but to actually bring you around back up to doing well. So we'll go over that on day one also. Now, again, one of the great things about chiropractors is there's so many different ways to go about this. But for all intents and purposes, in all reality, that's one of the crappy things about chiropractors is there's so many different ways to do this. The way we do it here is not necessarily going to be the way that you're going to get it done in every other office. But the things you should look for when you call to make an appointment, hey, do I get to have a consult with a doctor? Are we going to actually talk about the issues that we got going on? Are they going to do an exam? And are they going to examine just the thing I came in to look at? Or are they going to look me over as, an entire person? Do you do x-rays in office? Or is it something you refer out to? Are you going to actually take a look at the bones you plan on moving? Okay. And then once we do all that, am I going to get treatment? Am I going to get helped? Are we going to get the ball rolling, the process started on day one? Or are you going to send me home and then make me come back later? You're going to make me wait another 24 hours in pain before we actually get things going on. And is the doctor going to make up a plan for me? Does the doctor have a plan going forward? Because for all intents and purposes, there are two people who should have a plan for you in your life. It's your God and your chiropractor. I'll put that one as a close second. So, haven't been struck down yet. Either way, this is how it's done in our office. It's not how it's done in every office. And understandably so, I'm coming from a biased standpoint. I think this is how it should be done in every office. You should be listened to. You should be checked out as a whole person, not just a point of pain. You should take x-rays or do any other sort of visual test, radiographic test, so we can see what it is we're working on. And then you should get started like that day, right? As long as there's no glaring red flags or contraindications, and the problem that you bring in is well within the specialty of your chiropractor or your doctor in general, you should get started. And then you should have a plan on how you're going to carry this thing out to its logical endpoint, i.e. you're getting back to or as close to 100% as you can. But hey, that's just my opinion. So if this sounds like something that makes sense to you, give our office a call, walk right through the door. We're ready to help you here at Aspire Chiropractic when you're ready to be your best. On day one, naturally.